Thank you. Hey everybody, we're going to go over today a few different resources that you guys need to get into medical school. I would be willing to wager that these are pretty much all of the ones that you need during your application process and the ones that I refer to the most. So let's get into it. The first one that you're going to need is Interfolio. This is going to save you a massive amount of time rather than chasing your letter writers around and trying to get them to send in applications or send in letters to you, that is. So a lot of people don't use it. I've seen medical students not using this resource, and it was so much harder for them. Also, make sure that your letters have like a signature on them and like the basic stuff that you could find on the MCAS website. I feel like I don't even need to mention the MCAS website because you're forced to use it, kind of. But check out how to specifically get on your letter writers' asses about about what to write. So letters. So there should be little tutorials about how to do it on MCAS. So make sure you have that. So don't even like screw around with trying to get them directly uploaded to MCAS. Just use Interfolio. I know it's an annoying amount of money, but it's going to save you so much time in the long run. Headers, instructions, guidelines. So you're going to want to reference this guideline. And yeah, you're going to need every specific thing that they mention on the guidelines. So just make sure you do that. So that's for the letter writers. This is great. Okay, give me a second. I'm going to find the thing that you need. In terms, so yeah, just make sure you have everything that's listed here on the letters of evaluation so that you don't accidentally miss anything and have things sent back. I've seen this happen to students where they don't have somebody put one of the dates that they require or like a signature or something like that. Don't make that mistake and refer to this a lot, the applicant guide, and use Interfolio to actually get it sent into MCAS. Don't go doing it by yourself. I know some of your letter writers are going to be kind of annoyed that you're using Interfolio, but I promise it's going to be less annoying than the actual MCAS system. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to go into that you definitely need is going to be your MSAR. So you want to buy the MSAR subscription as well. I know this is a stupid expensive process. I hope you have a fee waiver so you don't have to get this, but you need this. It's going to display all of the statistics that you're going to need to compare yourself with other applicants and to see if you're actually a good fit for that medical school. So make sure to buy MSAR or use the free service. Also, guys, if you are getting the fee waiver, just a little short piece of advice, you're going to want to get the fee waiver and then you're going to want to buy the MCAT date. So don't do it the other way around, or they're just going to be like, they're not going to refund you for any money. I did that. I got the fee waiver, but then I also, that's a separate thing. So let's continue with this. So the next resource that you're definitely going to need is MedschoolHQ. This dude, Dr. Gray, is fantastic. He does an excellent job of reviewing why so many people make mistakes and for you to avoid just basic pitfalls, right? So MedschoolHQ, check it out. He has a website as well. I think it's like MedschoolHQ.net or something along those lines. But if it's a scam website, don't sign up for it. Just make sure it's legit. You can find that on his YouTube channel, on their YouTube channel. And then moreover, this one is a little bit less known about and you definitely need to check it out. It's called Med School Coach. This guy does an absolutely amazing job of describing to you how you should make a medical school list. Well, I would say Dr. Gray is more of like a hindsight. He like looks at a lot of students in hindsight and he does a lot of reviews on that and why people make mistakes. I'd say Med School Coach is more of like foresight. He does an excellent job of showing you how to do things before the problems arrive. So it's a little bit less like learning from the mistakes of others and a little bit more of like what to do correctly. So refer to him, watch a bunch of his videos or their videos because these are groups of people. But you'll notice what I'm talking about when I say him. It's this dude who's everywhere. The next thing you're going to need is Shamassian. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, Shamassian. This guy's smile is the best in the whole world. Like, why wouldn't you want to come to this website all the time? My favorite thing about Shamassian is definitely his timeline. So follow his timeline to a T and you will be A-okay. If you don't, if you start straying, then you might get sucked up into some problemos. I started to stray from a little bit. I think I stopped doing like the secondaries when he suggested it and it screwed me over. So just make sure to follow it as close as you can to the timeline that he suggests. It's a really, really excellent resource. The next thing Something that I didn't do, and in hindsight you can learn from me, is making an actual list of medical schools, secondary invitations, invitations, stuff like that. Because when you apply to like 30 schools, yeah, you think you can have it all in your head and you're wrong. You need to have an actual Excel sheet that is specifically dedicated to timelines, right? So I made this beautiful example list for you that gives you a general idea of when you send in your applications. You send them in on 4/1, you received all your secondaries on 4/20, and then you're gonna need to actually put when you send it, so they submitted, you get the picture. You're gonna wanna actually record this as they come in. When I was applying to like 30 schools, I remember I was just using my Gmail like star button or favorite button. I was like, this is fine. Like, this is a totally fine way to organize it. And it really, really was not. In fact, I actually ended up missing one of my secondaries. And these are like hundreds of dollars or something, right? And I missed it. And I literally just like, here's my money, just like, meow, like straight into the trash. So I want you to actually record when you're getting it and when you're sending it in. It was the University of Utah I sent it to, and then they sent me an email and they were like, hey, don't forget to do your secondary. I was like, yo, you never sent me my secondary. And they were like, oh, like, all right, we'll send it to you again. And then I looked at my email and like, I just totally missed it. So don't do that. Just actually put down the dates that you're receiving the secondaries, the dates that you send things in, the dates that interviews are coming. Have a dedicated sheet for that. So that's a resource you definitely need. And then the next resource, which is a little bit underrepresented perhaps, is your family and your friends. There is a picture of my disgusting brothers. Just kidding. I love them so much. And my girlfriend, Nicole. So you also want to rely on your family and your friends, and yeah, just like send your application to them, send your secondaries to them, send everything to them, and have multiple people read it on their own little Excel sheets or Google Sheets or like Google Docs. And then I want you to compare everything to one another. So if like you send your like this, that, or the other thing, say you send your personal statement to like 9 people and they all highlight the same thing that says you should get rid of it. Like we all took statistics, we all know if like your N is a low value. However, we do know that if you're getting multiple people who are saying that you probably should take it out, you probably should take it out. You're just one person, and these are the best people in the world that you're gonna actually get examples from. So send it to family, send it to mentors, send it to teachers. Like, people want to help you. People want to see you succeed, and so too does the admissions committee, which is excellent. Okay, so guys, that's super cool. So that's everything that I feel like you should need. And then the last 2 things that you definitely do not need, I'm throwing these in as a bonus. You do not need Student Doctor Network. Honestly, that is a really terrible website in my opinion, because it is going to make you have heart attacks and constantly compare yourself to other medical students. Like, sure, occasionally it has some good advice, like, oh, like maybe there's a problem with like your application or timelines or something like that, but most of it is just going to make you worry and make you compare yourself to other people. And you're a unique individual. As long as you're following all these other resources that I've provided to you today, you are not going to need to refer to any of that, because it is a relatively simple process. I mean, there's a lot of difficult stuff in there, but you don't need to go looking like, oh, did they already get their interview for an acceptance? Like, it's a rolling admission, like, or interview for acceptance, or like their secondary applications. Like, things will come to you when they come to you, and like, I'm sure that you said everything incorrectly as long as you're following these other things, right? But if you're like, oh my God, like they got an invitation to interview here, you're gonna start scaring yourself, right? So don't scare yourself, don't compare yourself to other students. And yeah, that's the last thing, is you don't need other medical students, honestly. Like, other medical students, a lot of the times it's just gonna screw with your head. When in reality, like, you got to come into this with like the confidence that when you're using these resources that I've shown you, and that a lot of them you've probably already seen, that you're gonna be able to actually succeed with it, which I know you can. Like, you're gonna succeed, you're gonna get in, and it's gonna be so happy. By God, when I got in, I just like cried like a little baby boy, and you probably are gonna cry as well, and it's fantastic feeling. You'll never forget it. So yeah, guys, I appreciate you coming to my channel today. Please like and subscribe if I provided you with anything useful, and please unsubscribe and dislike this if I just wasted your time. So much love. Have a good day.